First of all, when you're talking about understanding composition, you first have to determine your own body composition. And there's several ways to determine body composition. There's underwater weigh-in. Another reliable method is called the biometrical impedance analysis, and that method has become popular because it is reliable, fast, easily administered, and pain-free. And we also talk about the skinful method, which is quick, cheap, and is easily administered. The drawback of the skinful, however, is that the accuracy is just depends on the skill of the person administrating the test, as well as the quality of the calipers used. One of the things you've got to make sure is that the calipers are calibrated constantly, and or rather so that you don't run into errors of misreading of the dials. So now we want to get into the apples versus the pears and the risk for CVDs. And all I want to say is sorry to the pear-shaped folks, because you do have to worry about diabetes and heart disease just like your apple-shaped friends. According to the new University of California study, it's found out that pear-shaped people, those who carry the extra weight in their thighs and buttocks, as opposed to their middle, like the apple-shaped folks, aren't protected from chronic health condition as previously thought. Here, I have a diagram showing the apple versus the pear. As you notice, the apple in the red has more of a wider stomach above the waist versus below the waist of the pear, where she has it in the thighs and the buttocks where the fat secretion lies. The small analysis of 45 people with early metabolic syndrome found that fat stored in the buttock area secretes dangerous levels of two proteins, charmin and ometin, that can lead to inflammation and a greater likelihood of developing full-on metabolic syndrome and its associated health problems, which range from obesity to sleep apnea. Metabolic syndrome is defined as a group of risk factors that, when occurring together, double a person's risk of heart disease and make them 5 times more likely to develop diabetes. Those factors include having a large waistline, low levels of good HDL cholesterol, high blood pressure, and high blood sugar. Those with apple shapes, fat carried around the stomach or the mid region, have long been considered at higher risk for those conditions. But this new study could dispel the myth that pear-shaped people are automatically healthier, says the lead study author, Dr. Jerry. He is a professor of pathology and laboratory medicine and of internal medicine at UC Davis. There's a whole concept of apples and pears, according to the Daily News. If you carry weight in the gluteal area, it was thought of as innocent or protective fat, and the common consensus is that innocent fat protects us from diabetes, heart disease, etc. So, upon investigating gluteal fat cells, we thought we'd seen that fat was fine, but clearly showed that there were abnormalities. Therefore, still having a little extra cushion in your tush doesn't necessarily mean you're destined for diabetes. Not all overweight people are at risk for diabetes, sleep apnea, and other conditions. According to the Daily News, there are a high risk of people. If you have metabolic syndrome, you are high risk. In the future, doctors could use proteins like shermin as a biomarker for evaluating your disease risk. The good news is losing an extra pounds can lower your chances of getting sick no matter what shape you're in.
Understanding even your own body composition can be a challenging task. Here is a diagram of a male versus a female. Notice how the measuring mark of hip to waist ratio varies between sexes. This is something to always keep in mind when performing a hip to waist measurement. Next, we have the waist to hip ratio general guidelines table for acceptable levels for hip to waist ratio. Take notice that you can use any units for the measurements, whether it be in centimeters or inches, just as long as you stay consistent, because only the ratio is what's important. Take a look at the acceptable and unacceptable ratios for both male and female. Male naturally has the larger number in every category than female due to their body makeup and structure. Here we have an example of a Jane Doe, female, 35, with a waist of 30 inches and hip 35 inches. The ratio came out to 0.86, and when you look down on the range for female, she would land into the moderate risk category.
So now we want to get into what types of exercise are valuable to make body composition changes. The best way to lose fat and shape your body in a short period of time is to combine aerobic activity along with strength training. You can do this in a single workout with circuit training or alternate workouts from day to day. In the upcoming slides, you will see various training and or workout routines that will be valuable in helping you understand a bit more about body composition and its changes.
Here we have a sample circuit training workout using resistance bands. As you can see, as the weeks progress, the time lengthens, and it shows the rest between stations and the rest between circuits. And also, if you notice on the left, it shows the intensity as to what exercises or assessments you can do or can be done at the time, and for how long of a period, um, for the duration of the weeks. Another circuit training that can be done is with dumbbells and medicine balls. It's the same concept, but different intensity if you notice, with the same amount of times basically as the weeks progress. The rest between stations and the rest between circuits are similar, but like I said, if you notice on the left with the intensity, there are different exercises due to the fact that different equipments are being used. Here are a couple more exercises that I believe will be valuable to make changes within body composition.